population that we have. So again, we import the majority of that water through that aqueduct. Now, once all that water gets collected from other bodies like lakes, rivers, deltas, and reservoirs, with 70% of it coming from the Colorado River, that water gets distributed throughout Southern California, eventually making its way to your local water company. And it's important to know what the local water company does before they send it to your home. First thing they do is they put your water through sand filters. Sand filters take out bulk items from the water, like trash, decay vegetation, fish poop, dead animals, and things that we don't want floating in our water supply. Step number 2 for the water company is for them to chemically treat the water. And they use chlorines and ammonias called chlorobins, which disinfect the water from bacteria and virus. And then the third step is a bleaching process to create clarity in that water, so that when you open up the faucet, it's clear and it's not brown or gray. At that point, that water is sent to the homes for you and the family to use. The state of that water is called potable. And what potable means is usable. Okay, it doesn't mean pure, doesn't mean clean, it just means usable water. Any questions about it, guys? No? All right. Now, the good news is that nature has an amazing way of cleaning the water called the hydrological cycle. That's water's way of cleaning the water. It evaporates into the atmosphere. And when the water's in clouds, it's pure, it's clean, that's how we want it. But at some point, that water precipitates and precipitates back out into earth in form of rain or snow. And that's where the contamination process starts all over again. It is extremely important to note that water has a unique characteristic. And that characteristic of water is that it's a solvent. It cleans everything it comes in contact with by dissolving it into itself. So it's important to know what your water's touched before it touches you, or what's in that water before it gets into you or your client. So let's go through some of those. When your water falls into our atmosphere, because we live here in Southern California, it becomes acid rain because it comes in contact with all the smog and pollutants in the air. That smog is a product of emissions from cars, emissions from industry, volatile organic compounds. That water instantly becomes contaminated. It hits the street, picks up petroleum products that leak from our cars, in the form of gasolines and oils. We have a large farming community here in California, so that water comes into contact with herbicides, pesticides, insecticides, nitrates from animal waste, including nitrates from human waste. It's important for families to even know what happens to their water when you flush the toilet. Does anyone know what happens to the water when you flush the toilet?
You guys know?
No? That water. Well, you're going to learn today. That water goes down the drain, goes back to a treatment plant, where they filter it the same way we learned earlier. And one, they run it through sand filters, but this time they're taking out fecal matter and paper products. They're going to heavily chlorinate that water to kill bacteria and viruses from the fecal matter. They're going to discharge that water back into larger bodies of water, so that the next water company can draw from it, do their filtration process then to the next home. It's important for our families to realize that your local, state, and federal government do not require the water companies to scrub that water for chemicals or drug residues. And we have become a nation of drug takers. We took everything from legal drugs to illegal drugs. Birth control, male enhancements, mood stabilizers, epileptic medicine, opioids. Yeah, you name it, we're taking it, right? And that stuff gets into the water supply. So it's important to paint the right picture for your client, because again, nobody cares about the solution until you can properly identify that there is a concern. All you need to do at that point is just show them. You've already told them, now show them, then you can go back and tell them that you told them so. Okay? Any questions on that, guys? No?
Any questions, guys?
One of the questions that you get,
Hold on, real quick. Are we getting a book like that?
yeah, I sent inserts via email.
Or do you
to
have
high-
PDFs that I can just load to my iPad?
Yeah, he has it. Yeah, so you'll be able to make I guess, I mean, you do have the PDFs that I sent to you, brother?
Yeah. Yeah, we have them.
Yeah, then a book will be made for you guys more too then, okay? Yeah, and again, I gave you a little bit more than what you may need. Any of the information that I give you, you guys are more than welcome to condense it so that it works for you and your pitch, okay? There are many ways to skin a cat, as they say, right? My way is not the only way, okay? I'm sure you guys can come up with some amazing ways to tell the product. I already know the capability that Jerry has and Jaime has, right? I worked with those two for many, many years, right? So I know what they're capable of doing. So I can only imagine what the rest of your team, can do as well too.
I'm excited.
Now, one of the questions that I get quite a bit after explaining the water story is customers want to know why my city, state, or federal government is not more involved in making this water cleaner. Because if the water is in the condition that it really is, a lot of these people are going to feel like they need to call the water company, right? They're going to feel like they need to call their congressman or write a strongly worded letter to somebody as to why the water is in the state that it is. But guys, let me assure you that there is no conspiracy theory. The water company is doing the best they can do with what they have. 90% of the water that's being produced through the water company goes to commercial and industrial users. The biggest users are farmers, industry, trading energy, fighting forest fires, local businesses. That's where the majority of the water goes. Only 10% of the water that the water company provides goes into homes. And out of that 10%, our families are using that water for cleaning, for bathing, and for flushing. There is a very small percentage of families that are physically drinking water or using water from the tap. That percentage is less than 1%. The majority of us now have switched bottled water. And guys, just for a reference, write this down. The bottled water industry is now over $20 billion a year. Yep. Let that the bottled water industry has surpassed soda sales at this point. We have water that virtually comes out of the faucet for free, but yet Americans are spending over $20 billion on this stuff. Again, there is a need for clean water. Any questions so far?
No, actually, I wanted to touch on that point that you said about the pharmaceuticals being dumped into the water supply. When I was taking my pharmacy class, they actually talked about that, how a pharmaceutical company was being sued because they found out that they were dumping all kinds of different medicines that were psychoactive, that were for like people in heavy dosages of like.
That's true. Jerry is a pharmacist. He's a pharmacy technician.
and they actually came out. I sent you guys a link on that, by the way. And they actually got sued for that. So there's a bunch of different drugs that is in our water that we don't even know that we're drinking. So I do want to touch on that. Thank you.
Another thing that I encourage for you guys is to be informed. At this point, try to learn as much as you possibly can about water, the characteristic of water, and the quality of water that you're getting in your home. If you are in a specific area, there is a website called Environmental Working Group. It's ewg.org. Let me say that again, ewg.org. I encourage you guys to get onto that. You can put the city that you're in, and it'll give you the water report. It'll tell you what they find in there. It'll tell you how many times your city has reached the legal limits of toxins, how many unknown toxins are in the water supply, and how many known toxins are in the water supply. Again, when you come to the door as an activist, one that's trying to educate and inform, that person's going to lend an ear to what you have to say. Obviously, you guys are professionals in this industry. You come in as the salesperson, the guard goes up, right? Yep. Come in as the water activist. That's going to go a long way. Okay? Any questions so far?
That's the shit.
Water. Aside from the cliche that water is life, right? Because it is. If you don't drink water, you die, right? But water keeps you hydrated, keeps elasticity in the skin, it pushes toxins throughout the body, it speeds up metabolisms, right? It transports nutrients throughout the body. Again, so many important things about water. Your body is actually over 70% water. And if your body's going to be at such a high percentage, you want to make sure you're infusing your body with the highest quality water possible. You have your brain, your liver, you're all over 75%. Again, make sure that you're stressing the point that your customers need the cleanest water possible. And you have the solution, right? You guys have all been given TDS meters, right? Let's go ahead and play with these TDS meters, okay? You guys are going to get a chart, and the chart is given to us by the Water Quality Association, and it shows you what good, clean water measures at versus what poor quality water measures at. So we want good, clean drinking water to be under 50 parts per million of dissolved substances. So you guys have a meter that says TDS meter. TDS stands for total dissolved solids, but I like to say total dissolved substances, because substances gives you more of a vast scenario, right? This is a solid. If I put this in my water, it wouldn't bug me very much. And if I stuck my finger in my nose or in my ear and pulled out a substance and put it in my water, then that would bother me, right? So I like to use the word substances, okay? Let's go ahead and start with good, clean, reverse osmosis water. According to the Water Quality Association, good, clean water should measure under 50 parts per million of dissolved substances. So let's go ahead and turn our meter on. You just simply go ahead and take the cap off of the bottom of it, push the on button, stick it in your reverse osmosis water, and you should get a reading under 10 parts per million.
I got a 7.
I'm getting 6 here at mine. Everyone getting consistent readings?
What do you guys get?
I got a 7.
Okay. Oh, Marlo's just coughed. Get him out.
Kick him out.
Shoot him and get him out. So I get a 6, 7 myself, right?
What'd you get, Mike?
Oh, no one knows who Marlo's is?
Nah, they don't know about my
Oh.
mom.
This way.
Hey, Jerry.
Hold on,
Keep
Mike's
Jerry.
still-
Get
Mike-
out
Mike's
of
still-
here, right?
tell him
All
Mike's
right.
still-
We'll go over that
This
real
way.
quick.
Okay, somebody teach Mike how to turn it on.
Hit on. Fool.
Alright, it's on.
Oh, yeah, leave it in there. You'll see a number pop up.
20.3.
Everyone's seeing a 6 or a 7 or somewhere around there?
I got a 7, but this guy's getting a 2.
2 point something.
Which cup is he doing it? Is
Are you in the dirty
You
water?
need to come.
Are you in
doing
the
it
clean
in the
water?
clean water? Or
This is
faucet
the
water?
tap water.
You're
I
doing
got the
it on
tap water separate, yeah.
Okay, hold on.
You're supposed to do it in the alcohol. I mean, you get confused which one was which?
You sure you put it? No, you're using tap water, bro.
You put it
He's
in-
getting a 16.
put
What
it
does it say?
16?
Okay. So he put his water in tap water first?
I think so.
Okay. So you'll notice that his is much higher. The reason why his is much higher is because he cross-contaminated his sample, his first sample. That's how sensitive these tests are.
What you got now? What you got now?
What does he have now?
Can you help
not working.
Go. Oh no, that's the tap water right there.
You got an 8.
An 8? Yeah, you got an 8 on the other one.
No, he has a 7.
Okay,
You're good.
His little thing's
and that's
not
fine.
working.
His TDS is not working.
And that's fine. If you got an 8, that's good. Remember, good clean water is under 50 parts per million. When you guys get your inserts, you're going to learn that 200 and 300 is marginal. And if you ever get to the 500 portion of it, you reach maximum contamination levels, where the EPA says don't even drink the water anymore. Okay? So the first thing you want to do is show the customer the kind of water that they do want. And again, mine shows 6 parts per million. Then what you want to do is you want to take a sample of their tap water and compare it. So let's go ahead and take the TDS meter and put it into the next one.
Yeah, 16.7. 16.9.
16.9.
17 flat. 17 flat. Nope,
Okay,
17.
you
I'm getting like the same
wait,
exact.
what is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
17.1.
No, it should be 171.
Oh, 171.
then.
Yeah.
Yeah, 171? All right. So what you're talking about is the water that's flowing through your pipes over there is somewhat at a marginal range. Now keep in mind that many Americans are waking up this morning making their coffee with that tap water. How many of you guys made your coffee with tap water this morning? Okay.
I don't
Great.
drink coffee.
You're not gonna get.
Okay, all right. For those of you guys that raised your hand, I want you to go ahead and pull your meter out, and I want you to go ahead and take the clean water. Okay? Hold it up. Okay, hold that clean water up. I want you guys to take one hand, and I want you to rub the bottom of your shoes.
Oh shit.
Okay? Then I want you to go ahead and stick your fingers in there. Okay?
Chingatesa, alright.
Then, if you guys are inclined, rub the back of your ears. Okay? That's a pretty disgusting place sometimes.
Actually, no, I have the cleanest.
Take that hand.
Hey bro, that's fucking crazy.
Let him do his demo, Jerry.
Now let me ask you guys,
48.
those of you that did that to their water right now, would you use that water to make your coffee now?
Nah.
Because you saw what you did to it, right? Now stick your meter in that water.
It's 48.
What is that, 10?
With just,
48
with
parts
just the
per
bottom of
million.
my foot. With bottom of my
Meaning,
check it out, bottom of my foot and the back of my ears went up to 70.
okay. Again, you're stressing the point. The fact of the matter is, now that you put your fingers in there, you probably wouldn't use that water to make your coffee. But yet, that water is still cleaner than the water that's coming out of your tap.
Is that crazy?
I like that.
Yeah. Mr. and Mrs. Jones, do you want to continue to use this, right? Probably not.
Oh, fucking
Well,
well.
let's go ahead and give you an unlimited amount of this good, clean water here at your home. Water that you don't have to ration anymore. Any questions on the test?
That's crazy shit, dude.
That's really the only test you need to give your client.
For real.
Good stuff.
That's crazy.
That's it.
It's crazy to me because I mean I did the bottom of my foot first, and then it went up to 48, and then I did the back of my ear, and it went up to 70. No, but I mean it took it another 30. You know what I mean?
Again, stressing to your clients that you wouldn't use my water. Now let's see what I
Yeah, the
did
back
to
of
it
your
to
ear,
get
back of
you using the other water. Keep in mind that at least we know that what we put into the water was the dirt from my shoe and the wax from my ear. But when that customer is using the water that's 100, 200, 300, 400 parts per million come out of the tap,
Yeah,
they
it's
don't
fucking
know what water is come in contact with. But they do know that that water is passing through herbicides, pesticides, pharmaceuticals, and everything else under the sun.
Alright, now what if I do half the time? Yeah, I'm listening to it.
Is the point made there?
Yeah, no, very well made. Very well
Let's
made.
get to the Okay, let's get to the close. Right now, most families have probably more bottled water on stock than they've ever had before. But before this, the average family probably went through, at a minimum, 1 case of water per week. Keep in mind that if you're a family of 4 and you have a case of water in your home, that means that everybody in the family can have 1 bottle for 6 days, and on the 7th day you have to open up a new case. So can you see how easy it is for a family to go through at least a case of water a week, if not more? And we're not even incorporating the bottles that get opened up and get sat down somewhere that mom or your wife yells after you guys about. Who opened up this bottle and didn't drink it, right? In my home, when my wife's yelling about that, I won't open up my mouth, right? Blame it on my daughter, she probably opened it, right? Now, in my home, we don't have bottled water, we have a reverse osmosis in it, but I wanted to give you the example. Let's put into dollars and cents. The average case of water is about $4 to $5 per case. But because we live here in California, there's a sales tax that gets added to that, a CRV tax that gets added to that, and your time and gas money costs you something as well too, which means the average individual is probably paying close to $6 to $7 per case of water. Multiply that by 4.33 weeks that are in 1 month, that means that family is spending almost $30 a month if they're only going through 1 case. And if they're going through 2 cases or 3 cases, again, we're talking now $60 to $90. It's very important that you address the customer. Mr. and Mrs. Jones, right now you're spending about $30 to $40 a month on bottled water. And that number is probably going to double or triple if you don't buy my system today, because I doubt you're going to be continuing to use this tap water anymore, right? Right. Let's go ahead and get you a system in your home for $0 down, $24 a month. That's what this system costs. $0 down, $24 a month to our customer. We sell it for $15.95. Again, $0 down, $24 a month.
Gil, we're adding the
You
alkaline.
guys have a different price point?
Then
We're doing it all alkaline. So we're doing
All
the 30.
alkaline?
Yeah, we're doing the 30.
We'll do the 1895.
Okay, so that means, what's the price that you guys are coming up with then?
IT 85, whatever. Oh, 1885.
1895.
1895.
1995? You guys are right in the ballpark. Okay, you guys are right there in the ballpark. That's what we're selling it for as well too. Okay? So the way you figure out your monthly payment is you just then you take that cost and you times it by 1.5. So if you guys are selling a system for $8.95, times that by 1.5%, that customer is going to be paying $28 a month. It's on revolving credit. The finance company uses a 9.9% APR. Any questions about that?
What? 1.5. You multiply it times 1.5, the APR that you're using is 9.9. That's fucking. So you guys write that down? That's gonna ask you. Okay.
Now, don't forget, many customers have the ability to pay this in full. So we can actually do it through credit card or even check as well too. Now, we also have the ability, if a family does choose financing, to send their documents via e-sign. Right now, we want to limit the exposure that you guys have to the people that you're working with. So once you get into the home and sell the system, I encourage you guys to set them up on e-sign. Our finance team will be able to do that. All you need to do is just provide the email address of your clients. Okay? Any questions so far?
This shit's crazy.
Ask them what the number to call is for the credit.
What's
You
the
guys-
number? What's the number for the credit pool? What number do we dial to get the credit pool?
All right. What you guys are going to do is you're not going to go ahead and call anybody. What you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and scan your documents. What we're going to do in a little bit is we're going to go over the paperwork shortly. But once your paperwork is completed, and there's two things you need to complete. One is a work order. The second is your credit app. Okay? Once those two are completed, you're going to take a picture of it or scan it. Jaime just taught me how to scan documents through my note, my phone.
Your iPhone, yep.
Yep, you're going to scan it and you're going to send it to sales@nubiawater.com. That's SALES at Nubia, NUB as in Victor, IA.com. You're going to send it to sales@nubiawater.com, and we're going to send you an approval on that. Now, approvals may take 30 minutes, an hour, it may take them even a couple hours to get that approval. It's extremely important to gauge your customer before you even pitch this, obviously. One of the questions I ask when I'm talking about financing to my customers is I ask the customers, hey, many of us have a Credit Karma app, right? Any idea as to what your FICO scores are? And what we're looking for are FICO scores that are around the 660 range and above. Most people know their FICO scores, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask them. But again, also ask them if they have the ability to self-finance it. Self-financing, again, meaning that they can put it on a credit card, or they can go ahead and pay for it cash or check.
Now, obviously, if that question comes up, is because they're asking for the APRs. What's the APR that we're offering through you guys?
9.9.
Okay.
Yeah, 9.9. Don't confuse that with the monthly payment factor, which is 1.5%.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, before we even get into the paperwork, let's go ahead and talk about the product, okay? Did I give you guys the information that you need or that you feel you need to be able to sell the product?
Yeah.
Mike, did you give you all the information?
So we're good on that?
I can go and sell this shit right now.
I know you can, absolutely. With the ability that you have, I know you can. Yeah. All right, then let's get into the product, okay? Because you're going to come up with customers.
All the information that they're giving you right now, do you feel confident to go out there and sell this product?
Yes.
Yeah? The test and everything?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm sorry, was there a question that I missed?
No, he was just making sure that we're good. Go ahead.
Perfect, okay.